What is going on, everybody? This is the Last Format Podcast. I am your host, 4KD Ray. This is your number one place for 4K news and reviews. You guys, what is going on? Let's get into it. We got some pretty hot topics on today's show. Before we get into it, man, today's show is sponsored by Raise HVAC. Raise HVAC goal is to provide our customers with great service that helps to both achieve and maintain comfort in their homes. Here at Raise Heating and AC, we believe in achieving greater comfort to your home by bringing excellent service, quality work, and honesty to the table. If you want trusted employees with fair prices that are fast and responsive, hit up Raise HVAC. So yesterday, you guys, we had a pretty big title finally get announced on 4K Steelbook. Ridley Scott's epic Kingdom of Heaven, the director's cut, is coming to 4K on May 27th. This Steelbook is extremely beautiful. I hope that it has some really good embossed artwork on it. What we see is absolutely beautiful with the face on the front and the sword on the back. Then once you go on the inside, that cover art, that inside art is of one of the battles from the movie itself. This 4K, like I said, it is director's cut. It is a 3-disc combo pack, restored and remastered director's cut of the film. It has Dolby Vision, HDR presentation, and a Dolby Atmos soundtrack. Disc 1, your 4K Blu-ray, is the director's cut roadshow version and director's cut. An introduction by the director Ridley Scott, roadshow commentary with Orlando Bloom, Ridley Scott, and writer William Monahan. 2 additional roadshow commentaries with filmmakers, an engineer guide, the roadshow version only, with optional English, SDH, Spanish, and French subtitles. Disc 2 is your Blu-ray. Disc 3 is another Blu-ray with all your special features, which includes the Path to Redemption, sound design suite, visual effects, press junkie walkthrough, world premieres, special shoot galleries, poster explorations, deleted extended scenes, and the adventure of a lifetime with Orlando Bloom. So as of right now, this currently is not up for pre-order, but I'm quite sure if you really want this one day one, you are going to have to pre-order it the moment that it hits, because I'm pretty sure with all the fanfare behind this one that I seen yesterday that this one is going to be a pretty hot item that's going to go very fast, especially depending on the price. Now, Disney has been upping the price on their Steelbooks as of recent, so I'm expecting this one to be probably at least $45 and up once that pre-order comes out. Will it go down in price? Who knows? It's up and down with that one. We've seen some go up, some go down, some never went down. So just have a price in mind that you're willing to pay for this one. But like I said, I think it's going to be a hot item, just like Tombstone. The pre-orders are mostly pretty much sold out last time I checked everywhere. So if you want that one, you're definitely going to have to keep refreshing and checking on day of release for that one as well, because it's a pretty big hot item right now. So moving on to another release, it looks like Kino Lorber will be releasing Deep Star 6 onto 4K Blu-ray on June 17th. This is a native 4K transfer with Dolby Vision HDR10. Your aspect ratio is 2.35 to 1. Your audio is going to be DTS HD Master Audio 2.0. This is coming with a nice looking slipcover. So your 4K disc will be coming with new audio commentary by HorrorFix.com's James G. Chandler and Ash Hamilton. You'll also get audio commentary with screenwriters Louis Abernathy and Geoff Miller, isolated score selections and audio interviews with composer Harry Manfredini, 5.1 surround and lossless 2.0 audio, your optional English subtitles. Now, if you haven't seen this one and you love movies like Abyss and Leviathan, I'd say go ahead and give this one a pickup. You may love this one. And then to round out our announcements, according to Dawn of the Disc over on Instagram, it looks like we probably will be getting The Peacemaker, Mouse Hunt, and Road Trip all on 4K coming soon. He put up the little poster art, but there was no indication of, what format this was coming out on, what studios was releasing it, or anything of that nature. All we got was like poster art, so expect those announcements to be coming soon. I believe I had already seen Peacemaker before I seen that post anyway, so I do expect that one to come out. And as you guys know, this year and late last year, there's been a lot of comedies coming to 4K, so I expect these to be 4K releases as well. So you guys, looks like we're getting Peacemaker, Mouse Hunt, and Road Trip also. All right, so moving along, let's take a look at what we can find still for a deal today. Looks like Amazon, according to bluray.com, has some pretty good deals going on that just went live over the past few hours while most of us were sleeping. Looks like 51 minutes ago, Batman Ninja versus Yakuza League is down to $35.99. If you missed Halloween 3 a little over about a week and a half ago, that was down to $14 on Amazon and Walmart, where I happened to grab one of the last few copies according to the website. Halloween 3 is down again to $14.48. So if you haven't grabbed that one and you've been waiting on it and you missed out on that deal last week, go ahead, hit up Amazon. Maybe Walmart also has that price also, but it is down to $14.48. Yes, it still came with the slip because the shrink wrap was over the slip case, so you should still be getting that as well if that's a concern of yours. Looks like Jason X Arrow is down also to $31.32. I expect that probably go down a little bit more, probably not by much by time release day comes, but if you still haven't pre-ordered that and you're waiting to grab it, then it's down to $31.32. Dark City is also down to $44.73. We got Legends of the Fall going down to $23.49. Hawkeye is at $47.78. American Movie $14.49. And it looks like the Talk of the Town is down to $23.49. Now, there are still some other great deals also to be had. If you have not picked these up yet, we still got Wayne's World sitting at $12.99. South Park has went up just a little bit to $16.49. Tommy Boy is down to $16.99. Now, I've seen a lot of people getting that on release day over at Barnes and Nobles for a really good price. I think they was getting it, even the Steelbook, for like $14.99 because there was that 50% off, and then they got the membership and all that good stuff like that. Exorcist 3 is still down to $18.25. Inglourious Basterds still at a low of $17.89. And we got The Ring down to $14.49 as well. All right, you guys, before we move on to the next segment, looks like I almost missed something that's coming to 4K and I don't want to skip it. So let's go back real quick. I'm sorry about that, but I do want to make sure we cover it right here because this is your number one place for 4K news and reviews. But it looks like Imprint is going to be releasing another 4K. So this will be Imprint number 419 that will be released June 25th. And I am talking about the Raging Bull 4K Blu-ray. So it looks like this will release with HDR10 color grading and a new Dolby Vision color grading. Your audio commentary by director Martin Scorsese and editor Thelma Schoonmaker. Audio commentary by director of photography Michael Chapman, producers Erwin Winkler and Robert Chartoff, music producer Robbie Robertson, actors John Turturro, Theresa Saldana, casting director Sis Corman, and supervising sound effects editor Frank Warner. Then we got another audio commentary by writers Mardik Martin, Paul Schrader, Boxer Arthur, Jake LaMotta, and LaMotta's nephew Jason Lustig. This is also coming with the theatrical trailer. Your aspect ratio is 1.85 to 1, and your audio formats are DTS HD 5.1 surround and DTS HD 2.0 surround with optional English subtitles. Now, this also does come with a Blu-ray disc and a Blu-ray disc with your special features, which includes Raging Bull Fight Night 4-point documentary, the Bronx Bulla Introduction to Raging Bull, De Niro versus LaMotta shot for shot featurette, newsreel footage, another featurette, Marty and Bobby, Raging Bull Reflections on a Classic featurette, Remembering Jake, Marty on Film, Jake's Joke, and Trailers from Hell. This also comes with an exclusive 80-page hardcover booklet featuring a new essay by journalist and filmmaker Bilge Abiri. Try to say that 2 times real fast. So your upcoming 4K review is sponsored by Will Record Beats. For all your musical needs, hit up Will Records Beats over on Instagram. So guys, last night I decided to finally sit down and open up a few of the titles that I picked up around March and February. So this one is one that was on my radar for a little while. Finally grabbed it, had some issues with Amazon sending it over. They actually sent me a used copy with no 4K disc in it, but at least I got the slip for it and they replaced it. But I am talking about Dual 4K. So let's get into a review of Dual on 4K. No, this will not be a good, the bad, and the downright ugly. This will be a straightforward 4K review that I'm gonna give you guys, because this was not really a first time watch for me, but it's been so long since I've seen it that I really wanted to kind of really watch the movie and enjoy it. But I did take a few notes down so that I could give you guys a quick review during this show today. So let's sit back and let's review Dual on 4K Blu-ray. Dual on 4K Blu-ray was released November 14th, 2023 by Universal Studios. This is a native 4K transfer. Your color grading includes HDR10 and Dolby Vision. Your aspect ratio is 1.33 to 1, and your audio formats include Dolby Atmos, Dolby True HD 7.1. Now, Dual does come housed on a triple layered BD 100 gigabyte disc, and a whopping 91 gigabytes was used on this transfer. Now, although this review isn't the good, the bad, and the downright ugly, one thing I can say about Dual on 4K was that my jaw just was not dropped quite like I expected for an older catalog title. But what I did witness was tons of great details throughout this movie. One thing you'll quickly notice is that with Man's Plymouth Valiant, the red was strikingly bold. One scene that really struck out to me was when there was a yellow school bus stranded on the side of the road. The yellow from that school bus really popped in contrast to the browns and the greens of the desert landscape. As the movie progressed, the detail and damage to Man's vehicle really stood out. Facial features looked natural and skin tones were well balanced. Where this feature really shined was in the audio category. Things kicked into high gear once the tanker truck became fully engulfed in rage. Moments of silence, followed by the rumble of a diesel engine, produced thunderous bass. One scene that really stood out at the 56-minute mark, as Man is on the payphone, suddenly you're greeted by rumbling bass and things kick into high gear as the vehicle tosses and destroys everything in its path of destruction. While Dual may not have been the most jaw-dropping catalog title to date, it offered a balanced transfer that should satisfy new viewers and those who have appreciated this made-for-action TV thriller of 1971. I give Dual on 4K Blu-ray a 4 out of 5. All right, so let's get into our final segment of the day, because we talked about Kingdom of Heaven Director's Cut coming to 4K Blu-ray earlier and what the price could be, because we've seen these Steelbook only releases go up in price. So I'm expecting, like I said, around at least $45 or more for this pre-order. One thing I talked about this earlier with the Assemble crew this week about Steelbooks and artwork and all these re-releases, old Best Buy Steelbooks being re-released once again for quite the premium price this go round. You know, how much is it worth and why are they doing this? Now we can boil this down to the biggest factor. It's more than likely money. So what I did is I got on the net and I wanted to see some of the reactions that other people was having. So one thing I found was a Reddit forum post where the person posed this question. He says, does anyone know why Disney only put out 4Ks on Steelbook and not both Steel and regular 4K? Now we know this question is a little bit wonky, because we have seen that they still put out standard releases. We see that with Lilo and Stitch coming up, that's going to be a Amorication 4K Blu-ray with a slipcover and not a Steelbook. Many people was hoping for a Steelbook, and that artwork that they have on that slipcover is absolutely phenomenal, and it would have looked good on the Steelbook. So that's the one time I could say that maybe we should have got a Steelbook for that release. But you know, this person is right with what they're saying. You know, there have been other releases, and Disney is expecting a pretty penny for some of these releases, especially their TV series are. You can probably pay a pretty penny for some of their TV series on 4K Steelbook. But this person asked this question, so let's run down some of the responses that we got. The number one response was money. Money is always the answer. And we know that that's usually the number one reason why they do this, right? They know that, you know, we're some suckers for some good artwork. We're suckers for Steelbooks. So why not double back and make some extra money on the back end, especially if release didn't do very good. Why not try to release a nice Steelbook for the collectors that really love their artwork and packaging, right? So we had one person here that says, if given a choice, I won't buy a Steelbook. I am not a fan, but the only reason I own any is because there was no choice. Now that's kind of how I feel. Like when I have a choice, I usually go with the slipcover because it's usually cheaper, and I try to save money to put money towards the next release that I also want. So, but unless it's something where I absolutely love that Steelbook artwork more, then I'll go with the Steelbook. Here's a very good response that I didn't really think about, but this is very good. They say that their main focus is Disney Plus, so they give out the physical disc as a premium option. Unfortunately, that statement is could have some truth and validity to it. Like I can see that, like they're focused on their streaming app, and that's where they really want people to go and come back, very often and continue to pay that monthly subscription price, as opposed to somebody just buying a physical disc this one time because this is something that they like, and then they don't, come back again for another purchase for quite some time, when you can get a recurring purchase every month from more people. So that statement does make some sense, and something that I didn't really think about. Fuzzyfoot88 says, because they know it's a niche market and will buy it regardless. So only offering the expensive version is cheaper for them to manufacture one type, and more lucrative because we'll buy it regardless, if it's our only option or because of FOMO. Oh yes, the fear of missing out is very big. So I'm sure, like I said earlier, Tombstone is going to be a lot of people looking for that, because it looks like most of the pre-orders last time I checked have sold out. So people are going to be trying to get their hands on that one. And if it's hard to get, we already know what's going to happen. Those third-party sellers are going to push that price up even further. We got another one that says, to break down the money response further, Steelbook sales are likely more profitable than standard release sales. And for the movies they are doing this with, they probably correctly think that the market is pretty price insensitive. That is, most people who are into the expensive niche luxury market of collecting 4K discs in this age of streaming probably won't forego a desired movie just because it costs a little bit more. Yes, you definitely got those people out there that, just really love it, or just feel like they're collecting every Steelbook they can, and they don't care about the price. They just really want that item in their hands, in their room, on their shelves, wherever it may be. They don't care about the price. They feel like, hey, this is what I do on a weekly basis, and I'm just gonna keep doing it. As long as they put it out, I'm buying it. And this person, says it just like we said earlier. I mean, they don't always. Tombstone is getting a standard release, as do Marvel movies and such. I think it's mostly down to how well they expect the title. Now, like we said earlier, okay, this person is a little bit wrong, even though, like we said earlier, they're not only doing Steelbooks. Some releases are getting the standard 4K Blu-ray, but I think they said Tombstone is getting a standard release. That's kind of true, but the Tombstone standard release is overseas. I believe that's a UK release. We're only getting the Steelbook as of right now, but I'm pretty sure eventually, a little down the line, maybe later this year, we probably will see a standard 4K release of that one. I feel like it's Disney's new way of creating a premium product. Back in the day, it was easy to create a sense of urgency and shovel their tapes out by using the vault. They'd only release the movie for a limited time, put it in the vault, and then never put it out again. People felt the need to buy whatever Disney had to ensure they could always watch it. All right, so here's a rather long one, so bear with me as I read through this. This person says, I asked myself the exact same question when I saw Tombstone get announced in Steelbook only. Doing a little investigation, seeing that big Disney titles like Moana 2 and Mufasa were Steelbook only in the States, while they got standard releases in the UK. Tombstone also. Comparing the pricing of the two releases while factoring in the shipping and other fees, and noting the preponderance of 20th Century Fox and other titles that are already available in 4K but only as digital releases with no sign of disc release anytime soon, leads me to believe that Disney has not quite given up the idea of digital future where cheaper prices would be more enticing while they have control over the availability. Buy digital, get a Disney Plus Hulu subscription, or be prepared to pay practically boutique prices to own your favorite title or a brand new release if we choose to release it on 4K. Wow. But even looking at some of their more recent releases and upcoming only baffles me more. A complete unknown Lilo and Stitch, the original, Captain America Brave New World are getting standard releases in 4K. Kingdom of Heaven looks to be Steelbook only at the moment, but I promise you the UK and other territories will get a standard. No word on their Snow White remake yet, but if it gets a standard 4K release, I'll be very surprised given the history so far. I think Disney is trying to see what they can get away with and what they can't. Otherwise, I think they're taking the slow approach towards the digital-only future that Bob Chapek tried to accelerate towards when he ran Disney briefly. Could also be rising costs, but when the other studios are able to maintain pricing levels, that doesn't hold water as much. Man, that was a very good breakdown. I enjoyed reading that. He's got a lot of points there, but I can't talk for the UK. I can only talk for the US, and we've seen that lots of times with different studios, different titles. You'll only get a standard, or you might get a steelbook, and then later down the line you end up getting vice versa. So it's a cat and mouse game that they do play with us. I believe they know exactly what they're doing because they are gauging their market. I think they pay a lot of attention to what we're saying in these forums and, on the YouTube videos and social media sites. And they prey upon all that information and figure out, what's the best way we can make the biggest bang for our buck here. And I know they know that these steelbooks are a great way to go. That's why we're seeing a lot of those Best Buy limited releases now that Best Buy isn't selling movies anymore, getting re-released again for at or above the same prices. Now, I know Lionsgate said with Best Buy gone, they can't do the $19.99 steelbooks anymore, so we are paying a higher price, which is kind of expected because now you got a big retailer who bowed out, who was, purchasing X amount of product from you that's now not existent for you. So yes, you would have to go up on the price. But like this person said, it's hard to watch Disney try to, what we say is price gouges, while other studios are releasing, steelbooks for cheaper than what they are. So what's the deal here? We may never know the exacts behind what they're doing, but we can pretty much condense it down to a few things, which number one is, of course, going to be money. That's the bottom line. That's the whole point of a business, is to make profit. Number two, I would say is, like this person said, is, and we talked about earlier, it's just they'd rather have the Disney Plus subscribers who are recurring and paying these monthly fees, as opposed to someone who's buying one title here or there, $30 this month, may not pay another 30 or more for another month or two because it's just not a title that they're willing to go out and purchase, or once that item is sold, it's sitting on shelves, so now retailers have to do a little bit of a discount on it. So the next time they're not going to order as many from Disney because the last time they didn't sell as much. And, that's what I think we were seeing with something like Target. Like, they pushed more vinyl and books and got rid of the movies, because even with me working at Target for a little while, I would never see anybody looking at movies. For the most part, anytime I did see it, it was on the weekend. You might have had one or two people really looking at movies, but other than that, yes, there was definitely more people in the books and the vinyl. So like I said, there's various reasons. We'll never get the number one reason why, but we can chalk it up to profit, and that's just where the profit is in steelbooks with great artwork. All right, you guys, before we get up out of here, I want to say thank you to everybody, man. I just noticed something that come July 1st, we are hitting the 9-year mark here on YouTube, man. Even though I'm only at 3.03K subscribers and feel like I should be at a lot higher than that, man, I still want to say thank you to everybody who has been rocking out with the channel since the beginning, or whenever you came and have stayed. I definitely appreciate it, man. Thank you for joining me on this journey. This was a hard thing for me to get into. I'm a very introverted person, but things changed over time, and me doing this YouTube thing, man, it has been a very fun journey, man. So I just want to say thank you. You guys have brought something new out of me that I didn't know I could do before, and that is create content, whether you like it or not. No matter how you feel about me, man, I definitely appreciate any amount of time you spent with the channel. Thank you for hitting that like button. Thank you for hitting the subscribe button. Thank you for donating. Thank you for sending out, a book, a movie, whatever it was, a slipcover, whatever it was that you took the time to send out to me. I definitely appreciate it. We're about to hit that 9-year mark on July 1st. So thank you, man. I am your host of the Last Format Podcast, 4KD Ray. Please, if you haven't already, make this your number one place for 4K Blu-ray news and reviews by hitting that subscribe button and hit that notification bell so you know when new podcasts and reviews get posted.